real hams can't go without seeing what's inside their equipment. At least me, I have to see what's inside of it. So I thought it might be fun to look inside a Power Genius today. So let me see if I can share my screen here. We'll try it here. Yeah. See if that works. Did that come up or did it not?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. There you go.
There it is.
There you go. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So we decided to open it up and take a few pictures. This is the business end of the Power Genius. And you can see that it's got a very large heat sink here. And it's made of pure aluminum. That means that it is unalloyed and it's not extruded. So it has a very high thermal conductivity. And so we're able to get a lot of heat out of the unit. These fins are actually mechanically made rather than extruded. They're made with a knife. This is a block of aluminum, and a knife cuts it and moves it up. You can see the beautiful construction inside. It's like a piece of military equipment if you've ever looked inside a military radio. This is the power amplifier section here, with cooling fans on the front. This is the filter box right here, and it has diplexed filters in it. What that means is, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I don't think they can see your mouse, so I'll have to verbalize, but where the filter box is.
Oh, okay. The power amplifier, the transistors are under the panel on the right-hand side above the heat sink. In the center of the module, that you can see above the coax connectors, is the filter box, and it's a diplexed filter. That means it has high pass and low pass filters. The high pass filter sends all the harmonics into a 500 watt dummy load, and that means the harmonics are dissipated as heat rather than being reflected by the low pass filters, as in all the other amplifiers on the market. The ham radio used only low pass filters, and those reflect the harmonics back into the transistors. Well, what does that do? That means it has to burn up the heat of the harmonics in the transistors, and it also means that you've caused additional distortion in the transistors. So you get much better linearity, lower heat, better efficiency. But it costs more to build the amplifier because you have twice as many filters. But that's a key feature of the amplifier. And then on the right, you see along the right-hand panel, you'll see that's the 3,000 watt switching power supply that's built in. The whole unit weighs, what is it, JP, 35 pounds? Is that sound
43,
yeah.
actually.
40, whatever.
Or 20 kilos.
20 kilos, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can actually pick it up. It has a handle on the front. You can pick it up by the handle.
Yeah, I'm going to try and pick up mine here.
Oh yeah, you can show it in real time there. Yeah. So looking at further at the business end, you can see it has UHF SO239s on the back, and you'll see an A and a B. That's for an A and a B radio and an A and B antenna system. The radio can be used by two operators, like in a contest in multi-1, or it can be single operator, two band. You can operate on two bands at once as a single operator. Oh yeah, show them there.
Yeah, this is the handle here. This is very, very cool because look, you can pick it up this way. It really comes really handy, and yeah, it's 40 pounds, I would say. Yeah, 20 kilos. It's built like a brick. Oh, thank you, Michael, for changing the camera. Yes, that's the front panel, and this is the back.
Yeah,
and I can lift it up. Oh, I can,
Great.
and it's complete. You hook up a power cord, a LAN cable, and a couple of feed lines, and you're done. And I guess even more so, it doesn't have to, it works incredibly well on ICOM, Kenwood, or Yaesu, or Elecraft radios as well.
Yeah.
I was surprised yesterday. I got this yesterday, and it was right out of the box. Like you only need to connect it to your LAN, the power, install the software for the amplifier, and in 5 minutes I was on the air. That was pretty quick. I was surprised.
Yeah, the
Now
smartest.
to give JP credit. So JP's pretty new to the Flex line. He's only been with us a month or 5 weeks now.
I'm an analog guy. Ex analog guy.
Now he's actually sold all his analog equipment, and the point is, though, I didn't help him through the amplifier. He just got it configured. I was pretty pleased with that. Anyway, sorry, Gerald, I interrupted you.
Yeah, one of the cool things too is when you use it with a Flex radio, it's all integrated into Smart SDR. So the metering pops up on Smart SDR or in Maestro, so that you see not only your radio output, you also see the power output of the amplifier. You see the SWR and I think the temperature, right?
Do we have that screen available, Michael, on your computer to share?
Not handy.
Okay.
I'll do it another day. We'll go through operational stuff.
Oh, that would be really amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, when you turn the amp on, it pops up in Smart SDR. It recognizes.
I'm going to turn
it on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the front, so you can actually see the other side of those modules that I was telling you about earlier. You can see where the fans are. There's a nice 4-inch touchscreen display on the front panel. That shows you the operation. This picture doesn't actually have it powered up because we had the unit open. Let me see if I want to go back to the back panel here for a little bit too, because let's try that. Nope, that's not it. What happened to my other panel?
Oh, I think you've got 2 of them open.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Let me kill one.
You can share my screen now, Michael. You can see the Power Genius integrated.
Okay.
Yeah. It will be.
You're waiting for it to come online. There it is on the top right, JP.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
And the top right shows the integrated power screen while Gerald sorts out his screen. I can bring that back in a minute. And then on the top right, we get to see the forward power, the SWR, and the temperature of the amplifier. And there's no extra cabling with this. It's a LAN-based network communication. It is incredibly automatic. And just Gerald, back to you on the back.
Yeah, so back, I was talking about the connectors on the back. So you could actually have, let's say you have a tri-bander on A and you have an 80-meter dipole on B. You can actually be listening on one of those antennas and transmitting on the other at the same time, and in full duplex, which is what SO2R is. You can be, if you're in a multi-operator situation, like you want to bring a friend over and operate a contest as a multi-op, you can bring a friend over, stand up a Maestro or another PC, and you can both be operating on the same band. One can be S&P while the other is calling CQ. So that's another use of it. If you're just a single operator, it works just great for a single operator. It's just like I was talking about, you could have both antennas simultaneously hooked up, and you can QSY between bands with a single touch or click. So it's a great way to operate.
In a non-contest mode, I use it where I'm on 6. I could be running 6-meter meteor scatter, which we do at high powers, but I do like to listen to some of nets in the morning on 80 meters, which is about the same time that the meteor scatter stuff is happening using WSJT and MSK 144. So I can be listening to my net, and the other half of the radio is happily trying to complete a meteor scatter QSO.
Yeah, it could also be FT8 on multiple bands.
I was going to mention digital mode.
Yeah. So if I had a tri-bander, and let's say 2 bands are open on my tri-bander, I can have different slice receivers on each of those bands, and I could be on 40 at the same time, or 10 or 30, whatever. So it gives you a way, and then when you instantly QSY, the amplifier follows you.
Yeah,
it's a great way to do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that I found also. I mean, I'm not a contester yet, but I'm a digital modes guy, and I love DX. So one of the useful features of Flex Radio and the amp is that it's not that I will be operating on both bands at the same time, but I want to listen at the same time that I'm operating a different band, because I have two instances of WSJTX open. So if I'm on 20 meters and suddenly I see that 10 meters is open, I can right away jump into 10 meters. And I never thought that was going to be so useful for me, because that's instant notification that a band just opened. And before, the process was completely different. Now I can immediately jump into the other band and make a contact. And I can't live without it right now. It's incredible that until I believe that the entire technology is something that you really need to try it for yourself. I mean, it's really hands-on. So I would encourage Elmers and people that they have Flex radios to let their friends and to log into their computers and really experience the possibilities, because once you put your hands into it, it's hard to get away.
Well, back to the business end of the amplifier.
I wanted to, by the way, so our developers are watching. So one of our engineers, and Gerald, it was Dave. So he's texting me and he says, make sure you mention the CIV and the other band inputs for band changes. So
that's exactly where I was going. So if you look across the bottom of the radio there, you see there's a LAN connection, which makes it work great with Flex Radio. It also, there's a user interface that can control the amp and monitor the amp remotely as well. But you'll see there's some RCA connectors, a couple of RS-232 connectors, which are for CAT control. So you can use other radios over CAT to control the amp. There's also a BCD input. Some radios use BCD, so you can control it that way. And there's also a CI5 or CIV, whichever you call it, for the ICOM bus. So any radio on the market can basically control the amp. And it does have frequency sensing, so it can even select frequency based on an RF input. So it is ready for any radio on the market. Anything I missed there?
No, I think we've pretty much touched it. We also have an intro video for it on the YouTube channel that where I walk through. It runs about.
We might want to mention MEFFA, right?
MEFFA. Oh, yes, got to mention MEFFA.
Yeah. So MEFFA stands for Maximum Efficiency Algorithm. And some of you may be old enough to remember the term Class C amplifier. In the early days, most CW transmitters were Class C, which means that they're off for more of the cycle than they're on, so they're more efficient. And most linear amplifiers on the market only operate in Class AB. And what that means is that it's biased at the point where the transistors are always on, but they're not biased to the point of Class A, which means that they're never off. Now, all that is to say that for linear operation, you need more bias than you do for things like CW or FSK, which would be RTTY or FT8. And so what we can do is, if you're in any of the nonlinear modes like CW or RTTY or FT8, we can operate the amplifier in a more efficient mode. And how we do that is we turn the bias off. And that means you're closer or very low bias levels, and you're closer to Class C. And you'll have to turn the drive on your radio up, that you have to drive it harder. Because the gain goes down. But what that means is that your amplifier runs cooler, more efficient, so that you can run basically continuous operation in a contest or calling CQ on FT8, etc. So you can run in a higher duty cycle with a cooler amplifier, and that is unique to the Power Genius.
I was on the chat with one of the other developers the other day, and I was trying to understand the way it was working, and he said, "Oh no, give it 4 or 5 transmission cycles, and MEFFA will continue to optimize itself for your drive." And you are correct. Normally, for what I was doing on 6-meter scatter is what it was. Without MEFFA, I was able to get like 15 watts drive for my maximum power out in Canada, which is 750 watts. But I did the math with the current and the voltage and it was, there's a lot of heat being generated. But once I dialed that back and drove the radio up to 60 watts drive, the efficiency increased to, it was a huge difference. And it took a couple of cycles, and I could see it could get better. So something new to me that I just learned in the last few weeks.
So anything else you guys want to talk about on the amplifier? I had a couple other things to share, and then probably have to get back to you.
No,
I think we're great. JP, anything you can think of?
They're ready to be shipped, and we just started financing on our website. That's another option for people. Maybe you have an old amp. You can use that old amp as a down payment and, financing the rest. So we're trying to make it easier for people to get their Power Genius. Actually, you can finance all our products on our website, but now we're talking about the amp. It's a great opportunity for people that they have maybe a second backup amp to trade that in and get the new Power Genius.
Yeah, that's a brand new thing we've added is financing just a week ago, maybe.
Yep. We already have happy financing customers. Yes.
Well, that's great, and I think that's all we have then.